Yarr! Yarr! Today we're leaving the road behind us for an adventure. These rules for the sea! Deserts and frostbitten lands come from the Curse Scroll zines and Shadowdark's core rulebook. A little bit of homebrew to spice things up, but if you've missed the earlier parts of Overland No Hex Travel seasons, the links are going to be down below. Let's set sail and then see how the ground itself becomes a hazard. Most GMs treat Sea Voyage and Wastelands as filler, just moving from point A to point B, describing some hardship. These are some of the most dangerous places in the above world. If you ignore them, you're missing on an entire style of dungeon-like adventures hidden in the journey itself. I should also say, by the way, if deserts and dangerous travel spark your imagination, you should definitely take a look at the Scorched Basin. It's a new Mad Max Dune-inspired expansion that drops perfectly into a Shadowdark game. I've linked it down below in the description, worth checking out if you want your games to feel more deadly. At sea, each territory or hex is still about 6 miles, but traveling is measured in turns, not hours. One turn is about 3 hours at sea, so each morning you also have to remember to roll for wind. If you get calm seas, you kind of crawl to a halt. It's going to take 8 hours in-game just to get through one hex. If you get gusty winds, you get to double your pace. Driving winds cuts it in half and makes navigation even harder. While structured sets the pace, remember, dice decide the fate. See what I did there? Storms are really dangerous. We understand that storms can affect you in any terrain, but at sea, it is extremely dangerous and is actually part of adventuring at sea or down a river. If you roll a storm, they last for 1d4 days, which I really like. Visibly shrinks to close everything, so you really can't see that far. And every single day, the crew must roll capsizing checks. Shadowdark does have HP for your ships. It's like creatures. The HP is also the number of passenger capacity that you have. If you lose HP, you technically are losing carrying space. And then your cargo, your gear slot for the ship is equal to like HP. But instead of 5 like mounts are, it's 10 gear slots per HP. Unseaworthy ships, these are things not built for the open waters. These are like river boats, basically. They need to roll 3d6 each day during a storm. If one of those 3d6 rolls a single 1, the ship capsizes. And if a ship hits 0 HP, or capsizes, it sinks in 1d4 turns. So you get a chance to get off the boat. That's your only window to save people and your cargo. It's pretty dramatic. With the ships going down, you're racing through the halls, trying to get things out, trying to save somebody who's trapped down below. That is the kind of cool stuff that's really built into the simple, rules light, Shadowdark Voyage system. That's the mechanics. What does it actually look like in play? Imagine this, please. The party books passage on a coastal ship for a close journey, just 3 hexes. The morning wind rolls, comes up gusty, so by the end of the first turn, they've already cleared 2 terrains. But on day 2, you roll for wind and it comes up storm. Suddenly, visibility is close. You cannot see anything. The crew is making capsizing checks every turn, and what should have been an easy morning, arriving to the destination, has become a desperate fight to keep the ship upright until West Reach. But no, oars can still give you security. A full crew can make half speed no matter what, in any weather, if you have oars. And not all ships have oars. Oars, not the other word, oars. And if you ever have to portage a ship across land, you have to make sure it is, one, a portageable ship, and you have at least half your crew there. And then you can move half the speed of the boat's original speed across land to get to the next body of water. And that's just the sea. But what about when the land itself wants you dead? Deserts run on the same structure as overland travel, like pretty much everything that's in Shadowdark. It's just stacking on top. Hexes and turns, but with higher danger baked in. Daytime travel is always unsafe or risky. Without proper gear, every traveler suffers disadvantage on rolls until they rest. Extreme heat, called Inferno in this game, is even worse. Everyone takes 1d4 damage per hour. Heat burns through resources. In hot or very hot conditions, everyone has to consume an extra ration per day. That includes the mounts. And speaking of deserts, there's something really cool happening in the tabletop RPG community, and I think you will want to see. This is not a sponsored segment, so you don't need to skip it, trust me. I just want to shout out some friends that are working on something really cool that tie into this, and I think you'd find really interesting. It's called Scorch Basin. I mentioned it earlier in the video. A brand new Mad Max Dune-inspired setting, and it's wild. The basin is torn apart by 5 factions, each as dangerous as the sands themselves. You've got the Skara, orc and hobgoblin warriors who live for ritual combat and protect their villages with brutal efficiency. Then there are the raiders, half scarred, half mad, racing across the dunes in spiked vehicles, tattoos, acting as blueprints for the machines they build. They follow figures like the Matron of Speed, who doesn't even need words to command absolute loyalty. Or you can go with the Unsettled, mystics who inhale crystal dust to live off pure energy, warping magic through a system called the Current. Scorch Basin is a really cool setting. It is high-octane sandbox style. You can drop into your Shadowdark game, your 5e game, or honestly, even Daggerheart. It's already launched on Kickstarter September 2nd. It went off. It's already passed, so you're going to have a guarantee if you back it right now. And it's made by Homie and the Dude, who have been making really cool systems. The Floating Tavern and Flying Ships for D&D. If deserts, factions, and vehicle mayhem sounds like your jam, give it a look. This isn't sponsored. I just wanted to give them a really big shout out, because I love those guys. We hung out. Their stuff is really cool. But I do have to say, Snowfields are the mirror image of deserts, just colder, deadlier, and even a bit dangerous. So when it comes to snow, there's technically nothing in Shadowdark core, this guy, or the zines. So for snow, I actually kind of homebrewed it quite a bit, and I really just tried to make a mirrored image of sand. That's what made sense in my mind. It's super simple. Day travel is unsafe, and freezing weather bumps it up to risky, or even deadly. Without cold weather gear, you suffer disadvantage on all the rolls. It feels very balanced that way from hot to cold. Extreme colds deal 1d4 damage per hour. Blizzards and driving winds cut movement in half, making navigation checks harder, and raise the danger level by 1. Storms last for a d4 days. During that time, visibility drops to near or worse. These aren't just story details, everybody. They're mechanical threats that you can make your world feel alive. I know that in 5e there's the weather conditions and the altitude conditions that most GMs never really use, and when you have to use it, you have to go digging through the books. It's not that complicated for Shadowdark. It's easy to remember for Shadowdark. It's super simple. You can even apply this to 5e and it'll be easy to remember and playable for 5e. Your party lands at a port on the edge of a desert. The danger is risky during the day, so you decide to travel at night. But in Shadowdark, the desert at night is always deadlier. Risky becomes deadly. Every turn you're rolling danger checks. A sandstorm hits, halving your movement, dropping visibility, and raising the stakes. Literally, all that just happened because you chose to go out at nighttime in the desert. That quick 2-territory trip, 2 hexes, now stretches into 5 tense turns around the table, and you can assume nothing is going to go well after that. The sea, sand, and snow. That's what I'm calling this episode. Keep your players on their toes. These aren't just backgrounds. I've said this many times in all these travel videos. These are adventures by themselves. And you can add and steal these rules for D&D, OSR. Pick a game. These aren't that hard or simple. Easily adaptable to another different dice system other than just being D20. You can just take a second and put it together for yourself, or just pull out a D20 and roll for it. I know you have a D20. If you want more Shadowdark videos or even travel videos for Shadowdark that you can use in any game right now, go ahead and check out the videos that are linked on the screen, and I will see you there.